Okay, so at Nective, we just did the first ever data study around the queries that ChatGPT is actually searching. Super excited for this one as now as a community, SEOs can kind of have insights on like how ChatGPT is searching, when it is, what types of queries it's searching, and kind of like how long it is. And just a quick background, like at Nective, we have our like LLM tracking tool. We actually uploaded prompts at scale, and then we're able to extract like the actual queries that ChatGPT is able to search. In total, we did about 8,500 different queries that ChatGPT was searching, and then we analyzed that across different industries, commerce, credit cards, fashion jobs to kind of analyze the different trends. Prompt tracking is inherently fuzzy. We understand that, but we still wanted to get some data around like, hey, especially for commercially driven queries, how is ChatGPT searching? So I'm going to go over a few, three or four of the top level like insights that we found. One is kind of like the total number of fan out queries. And if Google was estimated to fan out around like, let's say 6 to 8 times, ChatGPT was doing much less than that. In fact, on average, it's fanning out only around 2 times. So for any given search, on average, it's only actually performing like one additional fan out two searches in total, right? We actually saw in like the data set, the max number we even came across was 4. So that was kind of the limit of ChatGPT. Now, what's really interesting is ChatGPT searches a lot longer tail than a traditional Google search, than a normal user. So if you go off the SEMrush data that suggests that an average user searches about 3.4 words in terms of query length, well, ChatGPT is doing about 5.4, which is about 61% longer. I think it even gets a more longer tail than this. Like if you kind of look at the histogram distribution of like where it's searching, 77% of all queries in the dataset were 5 words or longer. So generally, ChatGPT searching can search really long queries. In fact, we saw it searching like up to query lengths of up to 12. These were not super common, but it can go super, super long tail in terms of like how long it's searching for queries, which makes it a little bit harder to track, but we know it can search longer query lengths. Another interesting insight is like how frequently it searches. Really depends on the industry. Like some industries, like local, it like aggressively search, like nearly 61% of the time or 60% of the time. Commerce it also searched quite a bit, about 40%. But you had other industries like credit cards and like surprisingly fashion, where it really didn't where it didn't search that much. You can kind of like take a look at the distribution list here in terms of like how frequently it was actually using search. The final insight we did look at was like the engrams. So basically, like what terms is it using when it searches? Because this is going to be really key because if you can understand common themes in which it searches, you'll know how to optimize your content. This is once again a little bit tricky because a lot of the engrams are dependent on the prompts. But what we did was we basically filtered out any engram that was a synonym that was used in the original prompt, and the engram had to appear at least in 3 of the data sets that we analyzed. And here we found reviews was by far the most common engram that it searched against. So like optimizing for reviews content is going to be really big. It also searched by the current year, indicating optimization for the current year and freshness matters. And also interestingly, it searched for features and comparisons across a lot of verticals, across software, across commerce. For buying driven queries, it's like looking at these different types of things. So this was a quick level synopsis. Read the whole article to get some really interesting insights, and hope you all find it interesting some of the insights we were able to find from ChatGPT's search queries.